Hello friends, welcome back. So last week I called about 15 of you guys to figure out what you're currently struggling with and give you my advice. And the cool thing about it is that I can now share this with all of you. What you're about to watch is a pretty long clip, but it has so much value for all those of you who want to start out on YouTube. So in this one I jumped on a call with a guy that currently has 40 subscribers and he's struggling with a couple of topics that I know many of you have problems with as well. Like, why does my editing take so long? How do I figure out the right direction for my channel? How do I come up with the right video topic ideas? So the clip is a bit longer, but I know that that's advice that really many of you need to hear badly right now. I really hope you enjoy it. If I look at the message that you send me there correctly, then one of the biggest problems that you have at the moment is the editing takes you too long?
Yes.
Classic.
It takes me way too long. I mean, it takes me like 8 hours to edit a 10-minute video.
Yeah, but
I don't know if that's normal or not.
Yes, that is normal. That was the same for me in the beginning. And it can, and it totally depends on the way how you can deal with sorting through the footage, right? Because in the end, the problem for me in the beginning was deciding what to put in and what to leave out. And it's way more important to decide what to leave out. Because most of the time when I'm recording, now that I know much better what to record, and I don't even record the stuff that I don't even gonna put in. But in the beginning, I didn't have the experience in knowing what am I gonna record and what am I not gonna record. Because the more you actually film, the more footage you create for yourself, the longer the edit is gonna take. So the easiest way you can cut down your editing time is by massively reducing the amount of footage that you shoot and the amount you record. And by is that like a thing where you have too much footage to go through, or is it like, or are you already at the point where you only record what you actually need?
No, I still have a lot of footage.
Yeah, then that will be one of the first things where you can maybe shave off like 1 or 2 hours of the edit, simply because you have a lot less to go through. And that it makes it easier if, my experience is that when you take about half an hour before you actually record the video, really thinking it through, really thinking about, okay, what am I actually gonna need? What is the message? What is the flow of the video? What shots do I need and which ones can I leave out? Then you'll have a much better eye to decide which shots to not even get in the first place. And that's gonna then shorten down the editing time. That'll be my first big suggestion.
Yeah. Also, my videos are super long. I don't know how to make my video a little bit shorter. Like, I want them to take from 8 to 10 minutes, and most of my videos are over 10 minutes.
What I would recommend is, like, especially at the beginning, try to give yourself like a maximum length every video should have, and then you're just forced to cut everything else out. Make it shorter, make the edit tighter, cut out the speaking breaks, cut out the ums, us, and cut out the sentences that are not necessary. And take, for example, maybe like, how many videos have you uploaded on the channel? I only see one right now.
I've uploaded a whole bunch of them since January. I think I have over 30 or 20 videos.
No, now I see it. Yeah, okay. Okay, and they're like 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes in the beginning, then 13, 18, 19, 10. So how about one thing you set yourself as a challenge for the next videos, to really plan them out beforehand and to make them maximum 6 to 8 minutes long at max. Because the problem also that I had in the beginning very much as well is when you have a channel that does not have any credibility, because you don't have any views nor any subscribers, then that's gonna be a very big turnoff for any new viewer, that they come on your channel and then they see a video that is quite long, because then they're like, I don't even know if I'm gonna get value here because nobody else seemed to have gotten value here before, and then they're gonna bounce even quicker. So what I would do in the beginning is focus on shorter videos, because in general on YouTube, the longer the video, the better, because of the watch time, right? But in the beginning, I think that is not the right way to go, because it's gonna hurt you, because a lot more people will bounce right away because they don't know if they're gonna get anything out of your channel yet. because the metrics just don't look good. That was the exact same thing for me as well. It's as painful as it is, but I mean, it's like, it's just the way, unfortunately, people watch on YouTube, right? So in the very beginning, when I watch a video and I want a quick information, I go in, I look at, does it have a good like ratio? Does it have a couple of views? Else I can already know there's not going to be anything in it for me. Let's bounce. So I think you will do yourself a favor by making the videos shorter and giving really a concise, what exactly are the videos about? Let me quickly see. Do you already have like a clear direction for your channel, or is it more you're finding your voice at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of in the air right now. I kind of want my channel to be about, I want to do travel blogs for sure, but I also want to do like tech stuff in between. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's basically like the two things that I like the most.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any like a particular kind of person that you are addressing, like a potential viewer?
That's a good question. I mean, I guess people that are interested in the same things, like people that are interested in like new gadgets, people that are interested in like travel blogs.
Mm-hmm. Because the more you can narrow it down, the easier you make it for yourself. Right. So at the moment, last year when I started making travel vlogs, right? That's how I started my channel as well. That's like 1.5 years ago or so. And then I really knew that those were for me for practicing. And then I needed to really take a step back and think about, okay, what is actually a message that I can deliver that people don't get anywhere else yet? And who's the person who wants to listen to that? And for me, I then came to the conclusion, hey, my message is I want to become a freelance person with this. I want to build this for myself, and a person who could be interested is anyone else who thinks they could achieve that but are maybe 2 or 3 steps behind that. So I was really trying to think about how to characterize that person that potentially might watch it. And that is like the when you've taken that step and really shortened down, made your edits tighter, and make the delivery more on the point, then that's the next point to do after that. Okay. Right? But the thing is, with all those steps in the beginning, it's very, very easy to overload oneself. Yeah. And it happens in stages, right? So you can only tackle one thing at a time. It's like this, I don't know if the saying is correct, like how do you eat an elephant, like one bite at a time.
Right.
That's exactly that thing.
Okay. I also have a little bit of like an issue of coming up with video ideas. Mm-hmm. I mean, I have a whole bunch of them. I just don't know if they're, I guess, relevant or if people would want to watch them. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, since I just kind of basically started, I'm a photographer before I became like a YouTube person. Mm-hmm. So I have the photography background, but like when it comes to video, I'm kind of new, so I'm still learning a lot of things right now. So that's why I'm just trying to do as much as I can, so I can learn as much as I can in the video process. Until then, I'm gonna get into the better stories and better angles and better cameras and stuff like that.
So when you say that, two things pop in my mind, and the first thing is, do you actually have like that kind of expertise in photography that other people would want to watch that kind of content for, and that would look at tutorials and any of that kind of stuff? Because if that was, then then you have to decide for yourself: is it for you? Is your focus to learn about video and filmmaking, or is your focus to build a YouTube channel and get a presence quickly? Because then it's like in the first scenario, you would focus on still making the YouTube videos about the topics that interest you and you want to learn at the moment. The other way, take the knowledge that you already have and focus on that. So that's the first thing. And then the next thing is when you're really into the filmmaking topic at the moment, which I think is super cool, then, as I said before, it goes in phases. So right now, it's for you, it's not the growth phase. It's not the phase for views. It's not the phase for getting subscribers. For you, it's the phase to try everything out, to see what's your voice, what's the direction you want the channel to go for, and then experiment around with how do you actually make those videos, how do you get the editing faster. And all those other things that you need to figure out beforehand. As I said, it was the exact same thing for me. For me, it took about, I would say it was like a 6-month period in which I was just doing my travel vlogs, because I wanted to get better at editing, better at B-roll, make it cooler, make it more cinematic, make the voiceover better, make the quality better. And that was, I just posted them. Yeah, it's frustrating in the moment that they don't get any views then, but you need to see the bigger picture, and that is that you're currently building your skill. And in that phase, it's the views and the subscribers is all secondary. And the moment that you build up to a level where then you've reached that, then comes the next part, the next phase, and that's then the growth phase. And that was the same thing for me. That was like beginning of this year. But I couldn't have gotten there if I hadn't figured my shit out beforehand.
Yeah. I know that whenever I started following you, you only had like 7,000 subscribers.
Oh, that was like, must be in some kind of February, March or so. Yeah.
Of this year? Yeah, maybe around that time.
Yeah, something like this. Yeah, yeah, I mean, it can, the thing is, it can go quick when eventually you find one sort of a format that's working for you. And for me, those were the reaction videos. One thing also that maybe is interesting for you to hear, because I don't think I have talked about it very publicly on the channel yet, is that I only came up with the reaction videos because I did a whole bunch of experimenting. So within like a span of like 3 or 4 months since last October, since I started like making a real vlog about my topic as freelancer, I've been experimenting with so many different formats. I made like 90 seconds, 10 best camera accessories video, and I made the reaction videos, and I made a podcast, and I made all other sorts of stuff, just to, all the ideas that I had in my mind. It's like in Germany we have a game with that little children play, where you have a room, someone's getting blindfolded, and they get a hammer or something, and then they need to go through the room, and there is a pot. And if you hit on the pot, then it's gonna be, you hear the ding, and then you won. Yeah. But that's exactly how it is with YouTube, I feel, because you have so many ideas and you hammer around, and most often you don't hit it, but then eventually you'll hit one. Some people hit that quicker, others hit it later. Yeah. But if you hit at the same spot, you're not gonna find it. You're only gonna find it by hitting at different spots.
So trying a lot of different things.
Yeah, especially if you're in that phase right now. I would suggest you focus first on the quality of your videos, so the editing. Get more practice in editing, because it really takes a lot of practice. So I've been doing nothing as much as editing within the last 3 years. And it took that time to get better at it, because there's so many steps involved. Focus on that first. Get the delivery and the information more condensed in your videos, so that they're in like a 6 to 8 minutes at max. I wouldn't make it longer than that. And then after that, then I would try to start experimenting around with a couple of different things, so that you really take only one bite at a time.
Yeah, I mean, I tried doing a tutorial, and I even recorded it and everything, but I just never posted it because it was super hard, like, for me.
But the thing is,
in front of the camera, it's super hard for me.
What held you back from posting it?
I just didn't like it. I was making a lot of mistakes. I was saying the wrong things. The rendering time, my rendering time is like hours. It's like an hour, 15 minutes now. I export in 1080p and sometimes in 4K, because I have an Osmo Pocket. Yeah. And the Osmo Pocket has 4K, so sometimes if I use the Osmo Pocket, I do it in 4K.
Don't do 4K.
No?
No. Because it's another thing, because if you're already, I hear you saying, oh, the rendering time, it takes 1.5. That's another huge pain that stands in the way of you building a YouTube channel. Yeah. And the thing, there are already so many hurdles in your way. If you can eliminate one, and that is 4K, it's a pain in the ass, eliminate it. Because it doesn't do any difference for you.
So I do want to ask you just a couple of more things before we go.
Give me everything that you have.
How do you come up with different ideas I mean, I don't know. Most of the videos that I want to do are just like tech related. Since I like phones and I like gadgets, I like to do videos about that. So should I maybe focus on stuff like that first?
So the one thing that I would want to tell you is that always think about what's gonna bring you joy in making, because especially with the YouTube stuff, it's gonna take a shit long time. And then if you do something because you think it's gonna work and not because you wanna do it, then you're gonna run out of motivation. So always prioritize the topics that you actually want to talk about. So if it's gadgets and if it's gear, then make it about gadgets and gear. What I can then recommend you is like, especially in the beginning, imagine it's like a little bit your like children when they play in the sandbox. It's like you can do anything you want as a child in the sandbox. As long as you stay in the sandbox, all good, and nobody else cares. So your YouTube channel is now your sandbox, and you can try whatever you want in there. And there's no real harm because you don't have anything to lose yet, right? So what I would do always is I would look about which are the videos or the channels that you really enjoy watching yourself, and then just see in which way you could try to, just copy or reenact what they're doing. Because I'm gonna tell you, the most I have learned for my videos is from picking something from someone else and then trying to copy it my way.
Okay.
And eventually through that you will find your own style. But in the beginning it's like when you're becoming a singer, and with 5 years you start singing, but you're singing songs that you hear on the radio. It's not like you're sitting on the piano writing something yourself already, right? You copy first. So copy. That would be my recommendation. Pick a format, like maybe one, that you see on one of your favorite channels, and take that and try to make your own version of that.
I watch YouTube a lot. I view a lot of different channels, from Cody Warner, I like Dan Mace, Matt Diavella, Casey Neistat, like all those guys, like Peter McKinnon, Matt, like I watch all those channels like all the time.
Yeah, the only problem with that is I do too. The thing then very quickly becomes is you yourself develop, and I had that talk with someone else yesterday, you see what's good because you've seen a lot of good content now. And the problem then becomes you produce your own things and you see your end result, and because you can compare it to everything else you've seen before, you know it's not good yet. Yeah. And the problem is that one reason for that is that because you've consumed so much other content. And so at one point in time, it can be, I would suggest to go on a little bit on a content diet, consume less, and really focus on doing your own stuff. Because otherwise you will always be in that corner where you see how they're doing it, and how super polished and good that looks like, and then you see your own result against it. It's still the same. Often when I compare my videos against anyone else that I'm looking up to, is like, what kind of shit am I producing here? And that's absolutely normal. And then you talk yourself down, and that doesn't help. That doesn't help bring you further, right? Yeah. So the only thing, it's very easy to then compare yourself to the people that you really consuming their content from, while what you should actually be doing is just compare your current video to the average of the last 10 videos, let's say, and see if you could take one step ahead with each one of the videos. So for example, I would do that with my travel vlogs, for example. I was making a video, and then I rewatched it later, and I thought, the voiceover was shitty. Next time I need to make the voiceover a bit better. Everything else as before, voiceover better. On the next one, I fucked up the color grading. Okay, next video, color grading a bit better. And that's why if you just focus on making the tiny baby steps, that's when you actually get ahead. Because else it can seem like an insurmountable task to get from where you are to get anywhere near to what they are doing.
Yeah, they're really good. Cool, man. Well, thank you so much for taking the time.
So keep me updated if you have my WhatsApp. So if in 2 months or 3 months from now, I want to hear from you if you actually made any progress. So if you just watched the entire video, then please do me a favor and go in the comments and tell me what your biggest one learning was from this video. Because I made those calls and I'm making this video now because I was in that same situation a while ago, and I really want to help those of you who are currently struggling. So leave that biggest learning that you had from today's video so I can make more content for you about it.